its old guardian here. In this how to play video, I'm going to take a look at Cyclone Mage. Cyclone Mage is one of the best decks in the game at the moment and one of the most popular decks. And this build, I looked at statistics of various Cyclone Mage builds, and this build is the one that has been performing the best as of late. Obviously any build is meta dependent, so whether you would like to run something like an Acidic Swamp Boost for weapon removal or something, up to you. But in general, successful Cyclone Mage builds share some common features at the moment. First of all, the traditional win condition of the deck is Mountain Giant and Conjurer's Calling. You get some cards into your hand, you have Arcane Intellect to draw cards, you have Banana Buffoon to generate cards, then that makes your Mountain Giant cheaper. You also have the option to use Elemental Evocation with Mountain Giant. Elemental Evocation, next element to play this turn costs 2 mana less. But because you lose a card when you play this, then it actually makes Mountain Giant cost 1 less. But you can use that, then you can use Conjurer's Calling, and the only minions at 12 mana are Mountain Giants and Grave Horrors. So when you play Conjurer's Calling on a Mountain Giant, you have 25% chance to get 2 Mountain Giants, 50% chance to get a Mountain Giant and a Grave Horror, and 25% chance to get 2 Grave Horrors. So overall 75% chance to get at least 1 Taunt minion. And that's some of the really powerful things about this deck, that it can turn this very aggressive offensive minion suddenly into Taunt minions and defend with that. But that is not everything that the deck can do. Another line that has existed since the beginning of the deck is the Mana Cyclone, where the name of the deck comes from. Mana Cyclone, battlecry: for each spell you've cast this turn, add a random mage spell to your hand. And Mana Cyclone is an elemental, so you can play Elemental Evocation. Mana Cyclone will cost 0 mana, and it will give you a bunch of random spells. So one of the more powerful early turns is that if you can play like Sorcerer's Apprentice on 2, play spells, Elemental Evocation, Mana Cyclone, boom, so you get a huge number of randomly generated mage spells and you get a board. And this is actually the main way you play in matchups where you need to be defensive against aggro. This sort of very rapidly generating multiple mage spells gives you a lot of ways to fight against aggro decks. Even more so than the Mountain Giant Conjurer's Calling, which is still great when it works. And Conjurer's Calling is your main way to beat slower matchups. In addition to these win conditions, there's also Luna's Pocket Galaxy in the deck. Change the cost of minions in your deck to 1. And if you ever find yourself in a position to play Luna's Pocket Galaxy, your minions will start costing 1. That means that Mountain Giants will cost 0 if you have a card in hand. Sea Giants, almost guaranteed to also cost 0. But the real big payoff is that 1 mana Alexstrasza and 1 mana Antonidas, because that allows you to generate a lot of fireballs and to set your opponent's health to 15. These cards are usable even when they are not discounted by Luna's Pocket Galaxy, but with the addition of the buffed up Luna's Pocket Galaxy into the deck, these just become much more dangerous threats and almost an entire win condition on their own. So that's a lot of win conditions. A couple of more words about the Conjurer's Calling. Conjurer's Calling Mountain Giant, getting those taunts is very familiar. There's also Khadgar in the deck. And Khadgar Conjurer's Calling, Khadgar always gives you duplicates of the ones that you're going to summon, so it doesn't change any percentage chances, it just gives you 2 copies when you would otherwise get 1. And also important to note that you can also Conjurer's Call your Sea Giants, but there are no taunt minions at 10 mana, so when you Conjurer's Call Sea Giants you can't use that defensively. It's always a move that increases the potential damage for you, but doesn't provide you with more defenses. So a fairly complex deck. There's just so many things you can do, so many paths you can take, and so much randomness. The deck is filled with random occurrences. Playing those to your advantage is one of the main ways to play this deck. That also means that while the deck might not be the highest performing deck of them all, you're never going into a game and thinking that you have already lost when the game begins, because you can always high roll random effects to win any matchup. So in that sense it's a pretty attractive deck to play. Obviously the deck has its strengths and weaknesses. It's weak to combo decks like Holy Wrath Paladin. They can just usually withstand the damage and then do their combo and just kill you. Aggressive decks like Bomb Hunters, Rogues, they can just be too fast for you, unless you can high roll a little bit with Mana Cyclone or Mountain Giant. And even though Cyclone Mage in general is favored against warriors, warriors can sometimes out-control you, because you don't have an unlimited number of threats, and if you happen to pick up Antonidas Alexstrasza before you can play Pocket Galaxy, that means that you don't have that really high burst either. Still, no matter what matchup you're going to face, Cyclone Mage can always find a way. As for the mulligans with this deck, you generally like to keep Mountain Giant when you're on the coin. That just gives you extra cards, makes that Mountain Giant so much faster, so much more usable. Mountain Giant when you're on the play, you don't have the coin, you only keep in slower matchups like against Warrior for example. The more aggressive the matchup is, like facing Hunters, facing Rogues, the more you want to hold on to your early game cards. Mana Cyclone, Sorcerer's Apprentice, especially these ones. Because in those matchups where you need to be on the defense, you want to be able to generate lots of resources and use those to defend yourself. Other good cards to keep in your mulligan are Arcane Intellect, useful almost in every matchup as is Banana Buffoon. And if you're facing something really aggressive, you may even want to hold on to a Mirror Image, or if you're facing something really slow like Warrior, you may want to hold on to a Luna's Pocket Galaxy. If you enjoy this content, then please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more. And now, let's go take a look at Cyclone Mage in action. I might try with the Giant Keep in this matchup. Let's see. Alright, for now we be chilling. I could have also tried to mulligan for the Pocket Galaxy. Pocket Galaxy is the best card in the matchup. Maybe that would have been correct. Warrior who didn't have a 1-drop. Surprising. It's a Bomb Warrior. Okay. I think I need to start contesting this a little bit here. And contesting that happens like this. No, Book of Spectres is such a terrible card for this deck. And double bombs, but double bombs is fine. Do I take a risk with the Book of Spectres? I mean, I have a way to kill the Augmented Elec here if I like. Double Ray of Frost and then Mana Cyclone. Book of Spectres is such a huge risk. What if I draw spells? I think I'll go with the Double Ray of Frost. Trade away the Elec. Play the Mana Cyclone. That will maintain my hand size. And perhaps I should have played more risky. That's an option, definitely. More bombs into the deck. Very well, very well. So the cost of this will go... It won't go down enough. It could go down enough with the Book of Spectres, though. Unless I draw spells. I think we're risking it. Let's see what I can pick up. One spell. Means to draw 2 bombs. Okay. Not the 2 cards, okay. So I'm at 9 cards. With double bomb draw, there were only 3 bombs in the deck. There's a lot of damage coming in. But I do have the Mountain Giant Conjurer's Calling coming. But now he has some tools to contest that. So we'll see. I can also do like Mirror Image Sea Giant, but I don't think that's powerful enough. It's Mountain Giant Conjurer's Calling. Let's see what we can do with this line. He only has 2 armor at the moment, so it is not trivial for him to deal with the giants. He has 2 rush minions in hand. He could have a Ciliax, he could magnetize Ciliax. Magnetized Ciliax and then the 1/2s can deal with one of the taunt minions. Or with the taunt minion, but then there will still be the giant left. So that's not great. It's not terrible either. He could even face tank if he plays the Ciliax here. Yeah, Celiac's magnetization allows him to face tank. Yeah, figured as much. But why did he hit these? Oh, he hit them so that this cannot value trade. Yeah, actually that went pretty nicely for him. I have drawn all the 4 bombs from my deck already. I have to say that's a surprise. I have to say that is a surprise. What if I play Sorcerer's Apprentice this turn? Then this will cost 2. 5 mana. I can do that, right? I can take that trade. I can Conjurer's Call another giant. I think this is fine. There is the risk of Brawl, of course. Always the risk of Brawl. But if there is no Brawl, then this could set up for nice things. Because, for example, I have the option to play Antonidas. I have 15, 18 damage here. He's at 37 though. But I can do Antonidas, Mirror Image, Elemental Evocation, get 2 fireballs. I can do Sea Giant. Brawl is always a problem. I could do Stargazer Luna. I think I'll go with the Antonidas. Let's try the Antonidas line here. But he can hero power down the Sorcerer's Apprentice. But if he has to use Brawl plus hero power this turn... No, he can simply Brawl. He doesn't have to use both. But he kind of does need the Brawl now. There are no bombs in my deck, I drew all the bombs. So he shouldn't be able to deal enough face damage. I mean, it's on the board. And that's a win. I think I'll still keep the Sandbinder. Maybe I do need to go for some kind of Mana Cyclone plays against the Rogue. You can find the deck from the extension. Do I need to play my magic trick? Maybe not. Maybe I can do this with the Cyclone later. This is now 100% Cyclone Tutor, because I have both Mountain Giants. But having both Mountain Giants also means that I can pretty comfortably just throw 1 Mountain Giant on the board. But not yet next turn, I cannot. Not even with the evocation. Yes, I saw the card. I haven't reviewed it yet, but obviously it looks great. I'm not sure if that's enough to bring Control Shaman back, but it definitely looks great. I mean, I could coin the Sandbinder. The next turn I could get a bunch of random stuff. And that will still fill my hand for later Giant plays. Or alternative is that I play Giant next turn. What if he has Sap or something to answer it? I think I'm going for the Giant next turn. With this hand, let's try that. He doesn't have a coin, so the expected plays for him are rather weak. And that's probably like the best possible play he could do. Then we play Giant, because he probably does want to respond to this, but he could have a Sap. He doesn't have any cards that he kept in the Mulligan, so drawing a Sap in this time is not that likely. So he might struggle to answer the Giant. I obviously don't have a Conjurer's Calling, but he doesn't know that. And he does not have a Sap. Now I have a Conjurer's Calling. So I can evocate to make the Giant 3 mana, and then I can coin the Conjurer's Calling on it. I like that. Evocate to play a 3 mana Giant, then coin Conjurer's Calling on that one. We make more Giants. He really struggled to deal with one giant last turn. If he struggled to deal with one last turn, can he really deal with two this turn? And if he cannot, I have Khadgar Conjurer's Calling coming. We might try to raise this. Raising makes sense. So I probably need to be defensive. I think I need to kill the Hench Clan Thug here. And then I can play Khadgar Conjurer's Calling. I could even play Sorcerer's Apprentice, Khadgar Conjurer's Calling. Can I also get a Sea Giant out there somehow? Yes, I can. Even after the trade, right? 4, 5. But not if I play the Sorcerer's Apprentice, because then I will have too many minions on the board. So it's just, I will trade this. This one's just going face. Then it's the Khadgar and the Conjurer's Calling. And hope that I can find a taunt minion, but I cannot. So now he might have lethal. He can't do Leroy Shadow Step. He has 8 on board. Well, that one needs a spell to be cast in order to attack. But this might be lethal because I could not roll. I rolled a couple of times, but I could not hit any of those. Yeah. No. I mean, I knew Leroy wasn't enough. I'll keep the elementals. I just picked this up HS Replay. This is the best deck currently. I mean, people have various opinions on the best decks, but when you take a statistical approach, then this is the best build at the moment. Much like you don't want Harrison in Rogue, which is also why the Rogue Plague is so bad. So next turn is the Banana Buffoon, and we'll see what happens after that.
This guy's toast.
Buffoon time. I might try with the Mountain Giant. He's doing an Edwin turn. This looks like a big Edwin coming. A medium-sized Edwin. Okay. It can still kill my giant. Not a whole lot I can do about that. I think I want to play one banana here. Just so that if he saps the giant back into hand, I don't burn any cards. Although if he saps the giant back into hand, he probably has enough tempo to win. Rogue is very tempo based. Oh no. Double Vendetta. Okay, I didn't see that coming. Ow. And he has 13 on board. He's just 4 off at the moment. So I need some crazy stuff to go from here. Let's discover a freeze. Yeah, this is the freeze that I was talking about there. Then let's freeze the board. Then let's play the Elemental Evocation. Then let's play a coin. Then let's play a Mana Cyclone. Then unfortunately I got nothing. Well, I do have a Blizzard for next turn. I think I want to banana this now. I probably have to go with the Blizzard next turn, but it's getting harder and harder to keep up. Down to 9. I mean, Leroy Eviscerate could kill me. I still think Vaporize is not good enough here. Is Ciliax good enough? I mean, I could Ciliax one of these. Use the Mana Cyclone to kill the other. I will be at 16. And he will have an Edwin on the board with the Waggle pick. Maybe that works out.
Unity, precision.
Let's give it a try. I could have, of course, also killed the Edwin and left the trees. But Edwin is the most annoying thing to bounce back with the Waggle pick. So I wanted to give him a chance to get the Edwin back to his hand. Oh no, he has lethal. Sap Leroy, yeah, that is enough. Well, that would have always been enough. So Blizzard would have played around that. But I still think I needed to take the chance. Come on, he only had 4 cards. But most of the time, I mean... most of the time small things don't matter in Hearthstone, really. That's just the truth. Most of the time they don't. But it gives you a couple of percentage points. If you play well, but you're a little rusty, or if you play well and you have memorized everything. What can he magnetize on this on tree? Oh, he can magnetize the Bronze Gatekeeper. Oh yeah, let's kill it. I have Conjurer's Calling, which is hard removal, but I still didn't feel like leaving him with that Meadowmancer up. It felt a little bit too powerful. Meat cards in hand. Nice, nice. Can I get to a Mountain Giant Conjurer's Calling on 5? That's what I want to know. I've dealt with a Venomizer, he can still have Spider Bombs, and he can have Fireworks decks. And those can still be scary. Nine cards in hand at the moment. Next turn this will cost 3 if I keep the same number of cards. If I play Luna and Mirror Image, I will draw a card. So I will go down to 8 cards. Yeah, I can't actually do that. Won't cost 3, then it will still cost 4, right? But that's still a net loss of 1 card from hand. Am I now relying on winning the game with the giant play next turn? Does it even happen? Does it even win? It might win. We're going to try that next turn. If anything survives, then I'd do it again with the Khadgar. I think it's correct to try. Oh, now I even picked up an elemental evocation. So I can make giant cost 2. Khadgar cost 2, that's 4. I can't weave in a Conjurer's Calling with the Khadgar. I want to spend elemental evocation here rather than the coin. Yeah, actually I probably do. So we play the Mountain Giant and the Conjurer's Calling. And if I get double giants from this, I have the option to coin Mirror Images. Even if I don't, I still have the option to coin Mirror Images, and I actually think I'm taking that option. Because that means that he has a bit of a harder time with this Spider Bomb. Now he can still trade away the 0/2s and then activate the Spider Bomb. But yeah. Spider Bomb Fireworks deck. Trade away the 0/2s, activate the Spider Bomb, then hit with the Spider Bomb. Is the way. this is not enough. Because now I can do Khadgar Conjurer's Calling. Don't want to trade into some of this stuff. He can't have Venomizer and more stuff yet next turn. It's just Khadgar Conjurer's Calling. I can do Sorcerer's Apprentice, Khadgar Conjurer's Calling. Get a little bit more stuff out there. Everything is going face. What if I don't get any taunts and he goes face? Leroy is lethal if I don't get any taunts. There is a risk involved. If I don't go face... Yeah, I think I don't want to give him the Leroy out here.
Someday I'll be just like you.
We must band together united for Dalaran.
I think I want to do it like this. So now if I don't manage to roll a taunt, I'm still not dead to a Leroy. Because dying to a Leroy kind of feels bad. So I don't want that. And that was the sensible one to trade, because trading that means that he doesn't draw a mech, and he doesn't get the 1/1s on the board. And I actually did not roll any taunts, so
Unity.
there was a Leroy out for him there. I mean, 16... This is just lethal, right?
Who called that magic?
Isn't this simply lethal? That is more than 30 damage directly from the board. So I did not find out whether that card was a Leroy or not, but I played around it regardless. Not really, no. Let's just keep the buffoon. Rare images aren't terrible. It will take me a while before I can use them with the buffoon. I think I might still play them on one. Against the Shaman, because I expect aggressive things. Next time will have to be just ping, which is of course awkward. Yeah, can't really challenge that one. Well, now this turn can actually be a Sorcerer's Apprentice. Well, this was nice now. Because he might not have any way to challenge the Sorcerer's Apprentice here. Looks like a Murloc deck. So we'll go with Banana Buffoon. Sorcerer's Apprentice will have to trade away the Poisonous Underbelly Angler, but my Taunt minion can trade away the other Murloc. Because I got some free bananas here. So now I can take the trades like this. And actually put the Murloc deck a bit on the back foot. Because he runs Toxfin, I think this is just a pure Murloc deck. That's what I'm talking about. I need the Sandbinder now. And then I will take the value trades. Well, that was actually a generated Murloc, so it can still be aggro overload too. And he could have Thunderhead into Zap or something here, which would be powerful. It still wouldn't clean up everything, but it would prevent me from killing the Thunderhead next turn. It's pure Murlocs. Alright. So we're dealing with some pure Murlocs. Celiac seems fine against pure Murlocs here. I mean, I have also the option to Arcane Intellect, ping and trade there, trade. Because I don't want to let him snowball the board. But if I Celiac this one, then I can trade. I will have more stuff on the board. I think Celiac is preferable. Celiac to kill that. This one kills that. This one kills that. I want to hold on to a Taunt minion too. This gives me more board presence. Of course, once we hit 8, we come to Hagata land. So there will be that. Can't really benefit from Luna now. I might just play Luna on the board regardless though. It's possible. Just to get it out there now. Potentially start drawing more cards with it next turn. Or I could Arcane Intellect again. If I Arcane Intellect again, I can play Mountain Giant next turn. What if I Magic Trick and Mana Cyclone for another 2 cards? 2 random cards. That's not bad. Let's do that. Cinderstorm seems sweet. Then Mana Cyclone. Then I will trade the Murloc away. Push face with these. So now I get my hand size. I get my hand size to be, well, 8 is when things start coming online. He could pick up. He has 40% chance to pick up a lackey that allows him to kill the Ziliax now. And the Cold Lights here is not bad. 5, 7 damage here. Put him down to 16. 7 plus 6, 13. I don't quite have it. And I could freeze this board. But I would like to do stuff like that before Hagata.
The future is ours.
And there's random Conjurers calling now. That's interesting. This is a lethal setup, but there can be a lackey that prevents it. That is not that lackey though. There can be a Taunt Totem roll. There can be a Charge Murloc. There is the Taunt Totem roll. So then I have 7, 13. 13 plus some random scraps. How much random scraps is that? Do I die to Bloodlust? I might. How many can I get to go face? None. None went face.
Nothing.
And I think I need to do it like this. If I got some to go face, I could have done it differently. I was trying to see, okay, can I get some damage to go face? If I have, do I have lethal? If I don't, then what are going to be the best trades? But getting 4 5 drops when I removed the possibility that I die to some kind of Bloodlust play seemed like the ideal solution. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.